Ever wonder what it's really like to live near Destin, Florida, or heck, even in Destin? Well, in today's video, we're going to be going over some of the different areas around Destin. We're going to pull up a map. We're actually going to show you guys what the commute times look like, what lifestyle fits which areas best, and help you guys determine which area might be right for you if you're considering moving. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the maps and let's get into it. All right, awesome. Now we've got our map pulled up. This is everything from Pensacola to Panama City Beach, which is the areas in which my team covers right here along the Emerald Coast. This is the Emerald Coast region. And of course, what we're talking primarily today about is Destin, and then we're also going to talk about living inland here in Niceville, as well as Crestview. And we're also going to take a look over in Miramar Beach a little bit, just because to me, Destin, Miramar Beach, it's kind of one and the same. They're a little bit different. But the lifestyle is definitely different. I want to show you guys that completely. So we're going to go and zoom in here into Destin, Florida. You're going to have a couple of main routes running through this entire area. So first, just to kind of give you guys kind of a good overview of the entire area in case maybe you visited Destin, but you haven't visited any of the other cities. I'm just going to give you some of the traffic patterns here. As you see right here in on my screen, you've got kind of the main traffic patterns. The darker green that it is, the faster it's generally moving. That's generally where more of the traffic is going to go. And then you'll start seeing some of the orange points right here. If you see me zoom in, these are points where generally traffic is going to start with at first. Things are going to get a little bit slower. So you can kind of see how those traffic patterns move. So you've got 98 right here that runs along the entire lane of the Emerald Coast. Anytime we're talking about 98, that's the main road going west to east, east to west, and it goes all the way from Pensacola all the way into Panama City Beach and even continues on after that. And then, of course, one of the other major roads that we've got running east and west, west to east is I-10 up here in Crestview. We'll be talking about that a little bit later in the video. So we also have a couple of other major roadways to look for going north and south. So we've got 85 right here, and this is going to be what takes you from Niceville up into Crestview, or down to 293, which is where the Mid-Bay Bridge is, and then that's going to take you into Destin, depending on which side you're driving. All right. So now that we've got all of that kind of laid out, and we've got our bearings a little bit, let's talk about some of the three main zones that we're going to be talking about. So as I kind of alluded to already, we're going to be talking about the beach side here, which will be Destin and Miramar Beach. We're going to kind of clump them in with a little bit of Sandestin as well, clump them in into one kind of area here. Then we're going to have the Bay. It's going to be a little bit more suburban. So we're going to be talking about Niceville, Valparaiso, and Freeport. We're talking about these Bay and suburban areas. And then lastly, we have what we would call inland. This is more affordable. You've got cities like Crestview, we've got Milton, we've got Defuniak Springs, and those are more of the inland, a little bit more affordable. You're a little bit further away from the beaches, a little bit further away from the shopping and the nightlife and all of that, but you're still within close proximity. And so those that are looking for a little bit more bang for your buck are going to go there. And we'll dive into that a little bit further as we continue on. So for quick context, most people know Destin, Florida. So I want to give a little bit of commute time so that you guys understand what it would be like to actually live in Destin if you were commuting to some of the other areas. So with this, I'm actually going to pull up another quick map here, and then this way I can show you guys Destin, Florida to Eglin Air Force Base. This is going to be one of the main areas that a lot of people are working in. So if you're stationed at either Eglin Air Force Base, or perhaps you are going to be working out there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Destin to Eglin, there it goes, showed it back up. All right, perfect. So now that we've got our map here, we see that this is just a 26-minute drive to get to Eglin. Now, if you're going to be at Hurlburt Field, which is one of the other main Air Force bases around here, and don't worry, I'm going to get into some of the civilian sector too. This is just a big portion of the people that move here, so I want to make sure that we're hitting this. This is going to take you about 27 minutes. So as you can see, it's about the same either way. If you wanted to live in Destin, you would work at one of those places. And of course, this is right here in the heart of Destin. Now, I also want to get into Niceville. So in case, as we're talking, if Niceville sounds like the kind of suburban area you want to live in, but you still want to have quick access to Destin, I want to show you that real quick. It's looking like about 27 minutes, depending on which route you go. I'm actually really surprised it's trying to take this route right now. to go a little bit further north. There must be something going on down here. But let me click on that. There we go. This is the standard route that you would take. Go down to the Mid-Bay Bridge. It costs $4 every time, or $3.50 every time you cross it. Keep that in mind. And then lastly, Crestview. So if you're like, I don't know if I want to be all the way out there in Crestview, depending on the drive. Well, as you can see here, it's about 45 minutes to get to Destin. And of course, this is the heart of Destin. If you were to go just down south of the Mid-Bay Bridge here, and you wanted to go to the James Lee Beach, let's say, or Henderson Beach State Park, which are both very popular areas to get to the beach at, it would obviously be a lot shorter than that, probably saving you about 5 to 6 minutes. So call it maybe 40 minutes would be a pretty good thing. So those are the main areas that we're going to be talking about. That's the commute time. So you're looking at 27 to 45 minutes if you don't want to live directly in Destin. As we start showing you guys the home prices, start showing you cost of living, stuff like that in this video, it'll help you kind of determine which area is best for you. And of course, we cover more cities, on the east and west of that. And of course, this is just to show you guys the beachside prices. We'll be talking about that in lifestyle. Then going a little bit more in the bay, suburban areas of Niceville, and then lastly, inland. So you can get a real good scope of everything. The same kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about in this video will also apply just to the west and just to the east. So if you're thinking maybe, 30A, Freeport, and Defuniak Springs, for instance, these are going to be very similar tips for that. And same on this side if you're thinking, hey, maybe Navarre, Milton, I don't even know what's north of Milton. We don't generally get very much out here, but let's call it, Navarre and Milton sort of area. Then it'll be very similar kind of information that you're getting there. So let's go ahead and start zooming in, and let's go back to our main map here. I'm going to go ahead and just keep that up just in case I need it. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this traffic here, and let's zoom into Destin. Let's talk about Destin at its core. I want to show you guys some of the hot spots, show you guys a little bit around town. So if it's been a while since you've been to Destin, or maybe you've never been and you're just wanting to get near our beaches, I totally understand that. Just want to show you some cool stuff. I like that it just hovered over Big Kahuna's here as I'm going. That's not actually something I was originally going to show, but it's on the map, so I might be doing that. So a couple of things I want to show you first is Harbor Rock Village. This is probably what most people know of when they think of Destin. This is this little stretch right when you come into Destin. You've got the Emerald Grand here, as you can see in this picture. These big, beautiful buildings, nice timeshares and condos, and it's got a whole mix of different living situations. That's sort of what you're greeted in as you're coming over the bridge into Destin. And then you get down into Harbor Rock Village, where there is just a ridiculous amount of things to do. So first and foremost, we got McGuire's right across the street. It's a very popular Irish pub. It's got a nice little shopping center in there too. McGuire's also owns a sushi spot that's right in there. They own the whole building, or the whole little complex there, but some of them are being rented out. So there's some cool stuff to do over there. And then you cross the street, go right by the Emerald Grand, and you're in Harbor Rock Village. I'm actually curious now. I've not practiced this in a while, but I'm going to see if I can drop a guy down here and actually show you guys. This is great. Okay, so this is the Emerald Grand here that I was just, oops, I wanted to get that out of here, not bigger, I want it smaller. This is the Emerald Grand in the daytime here. This is Margaritaville. This is one of the many restaurants that are going to be out there. There's a lot of different things that are happening out here in Harbor Rock Village. This is where they're going to do, Tequila Fest. The Wine Festival, Seafood Festival is out here, which is a really, really popular one. And, it's one that I have missed year over year, and I really need to get out there. They just had it, and my hairstylist was telling me all about it, how amazing it was. She was like, it's such a good time. So you'll generally see a bunch of stuff lined up all around here, and then it gets, actually, the picture was taken right when some stuff is going on. This doesn't look like it's a festival. These are just things that are down there pretty normally all the time. You've got some zip lines here for the kiddos. You got these bouncing things, this little water. I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be. Oh, it's where they put you in a big plastic bubble, and the kids just go around there and get all their energy out, all of that good stuff. And so, when they're doing an event, you'll see these things lined with different businesses and things like that. And it's going all the way down to AJ's down here. I was hoping it was going to let me walk down there. Maybe it won't. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to let me walk down there. So let me go back this way. This is what I Originally wanted to show you anyway. We're going to kind of go back here as I make you guys dizzy with my clicking. Oh, it's not going to let me in there either. All right, we're back. I was able to finagle it and kind of get in here so I could show you guys. This is where they're doing concerts right here. For those of you guys that are familiar with Destin, you're probably like, yeah, I got it. There's tons of stuff to do, tons of little shopping, events. There's always something going on out here. There's pretty good food places as well. In fact, all the way at the end, there is a... I believe it's technically classified as Mexican food when you look at it online, but I believe the owner is, or the chef is like Moroccan or something. And so I'm trying to get there and show you guys, but absolutely phenomenal food. I had a pretty fantastic breakfast there one day with the sun coming up over the East Pass. It was very beautiful. You can come down here, you can rent jet skis right here on the Harbor Walk. You can go shopping. Oh, apparently I just landed inside one of the little places here, get some cool kites or something. This is pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that, so that's awesome. But this is where you'll generally get, if you go down just a little bit further from here, if it'll show it to me, you've got some jet skis down there you can go to. You can walk this whole thing. It's located, this is that main bridge right when you come in. So this is that whole Harbor Walk area here. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but this is a pretty hot area to be in for a lot of folks. This is one of the things that they want when they're coming down here. Let's see if I can exit out of this. And so you've got a good bulk of the, let me move the layers here. That's this whole area right here, all the way down. You can basically walk this whole area. It's a pretty healthy walk, you know, so you've got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things I didn't show in the interim. We basically just showed from right here to right here in that video, just to kind of put it in perspective. That's how large this area is. You can really move your way down here and see a lot of great stuff. And then as you can see up here, just north of that, this is where the residential area is. So if you want to be walking distance, you're going to want to be in these first couple of blocks, or you're going to be in for a little bit longer of a trek. So that's the Harbor Walk area right there. And then we've got Crab Island. Now, if you visited or you've seen our videos on, excuse me, now, if you visited or you've seen videos on Crab Island here, that's what this is. This picture does not do it justice. It just looks like water that I'm just overlooking at, what have you. I'm curious if I can drop this little guy. Oh, there's a couple of little points. Super cool. So we'll roll some footage and stuff too of Crab Island. We go here every single year. I mean, it's a staple here in our area. It's a sandbar is all it is. So basically what happened was they took the water out of here, the sand out of here. This all used to be connected way back, you know, in the, I think it was the 60s. I might be off on that. Forgive me if I am. But they dredged this out. It used to actually be here. This was the natural point where the water came in. And the Air National Guard, I believe is what is our Army National Guard or Army Corps of Engineers, that's who it was, decided, hey, we're going to close this off to make a harbor and protect all the boats, right? And all the, you know, fishing boats and all of that. So they dredged this out and they put all of that here. And so originally when they first did it, it was actually above ground. And then over years, hurricanes would kind of sift the sand down and now it became a sandbar. So most areas of Crab Island are sitting at about 2 to 3 feet deep for the most part. Some of it's going to be a little bit shallower, some of it's going to be a little bit deeper if you're on the outskirts. But that's Crab Island in and of itself. As you can see here, somebody's taking a picture on their pontoon boat. This is what people do. They come out here, they throw their anchor in the water, and they have a good time. Now, please keep in mind, this is considered a national park. So what that means is they're not serving alcohol out here. If you want to bring alcohol, which most people do, bring your own. That's how you're going to get away with it. There was a period of time where they would give you a drink, and then they would give you a shot of alcohol for free in a little container, like the little, you know, shooters or whatever. And that's how they got away with it, but they're not allowed to do that anymore. So if you come out here, you can actually see right here, if you zoom in, this is essentially a restaurant, a floating restaurant. There's a bunch of them. We got another one over here. You get a little tiki hut here, so you can go over there, you can get snacks, you can even get Chick-fil-A delivered. Like, I'm talking DoorDash style right to your boat, which is awesome. It's really expensive when you do that, but they basically have DoorDash for this. It'll take you a long time. Order it early if you're hungry. It's going to take you at least an hour, sometimes even an hour and a half to get out there, so it's not a perfect system right now. Maybe by the time you're watching this, it's got a little better. This is Crab Island here, so I wanted to show you guys that super briefly. That's one of the big attractions. You take your boat out there, you can paddleboard out there. Just be careful if you're doing that, watch for other boats and stuff like that. And then steer clear of the jetties out here. Don't go under this bridge, especially if you're renting a boat. If you don't know what you're doing, do not go under this bridge unless you're going straight back into the harbor, because the East Pass is very dangerous. It's one of the most dangerous passes in the U.S. So be very careful out there. I see people on rented pontoons and jet skis out there all the time trying to get out into the Gulf. Very dangerous. Please be careful. All right, Destin Harbor. Let's go ahead and go into that. And so, you know, when we were here earlier, I actually probably should have clumped this in with Harbor Walk Village, but this is essentially it right here. This is the whole harbor that we're seeing. So all along this line, as I was kind of showing you before, lots and lots of stuff to do. Marina Cafe is great. Harbor Docks, one of my favorite places to eat in the area. Go there for lunch, not for dinner, in my opinion. Same exact food, they just jack up the prices at dinner. Phenomenal food. It's always a rotating menu. It's pretty good sushi there too, although their specials are normally good enough. I don't get the sushi. And then you get this whole living area over here, which we're going to kind of look at as well. This is an option. We've got a lot of condos along here. Actually, let me go and move this. As you can see, you got the Islander, we've got the Tennis Surf and Racket Club, or Holiday Surf and Racket Club, the Aegean, Destin. So a lot of condos down here, jetties, and then some houses as well. Then a lot of these canals are going to be single-family homes. So when you're looking at this, if you're looking for a single-family home, you want to be on what we call the island, because that's what this is, even though it doesn't really look like it. It was separated, like I said, right here. This used to be where it was. We filled it all in. You've got a lot of really cool options here. You've got condos like Sandpiper Cove, Aegean, all those other ones I just mentioned. And then you can also do townhomes and single-family homes, which is super unique. You can get your boat right here on the water. Just know that you're paying a premium because you are going to be in Destin. We'll look at those prices here in just a minute. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of an overview here. So, and then let's go into one of the more popular beach spots, which is Henderson Beach State Park, which will be just a little bit to the east of where we were. So now all of a sudden all the houses went away and everything else. That's because we're in a state park here. You can see a clear line drawn right here, as well as right here. You are going to have to go a little bit further in town. So let me zoom out so you can see where we were just here. Crab Island's right here for reference. My mind just went blank. Emerald Grand. The Emerald Grand is right here, and then so we're just a little bit further east here. So we're just south of Kelly Plantation, which is one of the neighborhoods I'm going to be showing you guys here in a little bit. Or if you're looking for a good gated community of like people that are living here full time, and you want just a ridiculous neighborhood, just ridiculous in an awesome way. Kelly Plantation is one of my favorites. It's absolutely beautiful in there. This is Henderson Beach State Park. As you can see here, we've got some RV parking over here, so if you're looking to come down in an RV, that's great. We've got lots and lots and lots and lots of parking here for the beach. So this is why a lot of people come to Henderson Beach State Park, because there's just a ridiculous amount of parking. Come over here, have a good time at the beach. Not a big deal. You know, have some fun. And then it's located right here next to Crystal Beach. So that's sort of a inside look at Destin as a whole. Now, when we're looking at Destin outside of that, those are kind of some of the touristy areas. Destin kind of ends right around here, right around James Lee Park. And then it's technically getting into Miramar Beach, and then it technically gets into Sandestin, which is weird. You'd think Sandestin would be attached to Destin. I never understood why they did that, but it is what it is. What you're seeing here is, first, we've got an airport. So yes, you know, if you're traveling all the time, this is going to be a smaller airport. It's an executive airport, so you're not going to have your larger airlines coming through here. American, Spirit. I know you guys love, you know, flying Spirit. It's not going to have those kind of things. This is going to be like JSX. It's going to be smaller airliners. JSX is the only one that I've flown out of here. It's kind of, it's not private. It is still, you know, you can get a normal ticket for it, so it is a private, but a lot of private charters come in and out of here. And so how we've got this thing split up is we've got this whole chunk here where it's like a little bit of industrial, you know, mixed with residential and stuff, commercial. That's what most of this area here is. And then you've got some of the living areas here around Keller Drive. You've got, you know, some waterfront here in the harbor. The bay. Man, I got to get my stuff together. You got Kelly Park and Nature Walk here. Nice beautiful little park, nothing major. There's also another one down here. and another one right here. So there's a bunch of these little, parks and marinas and stuff around, but you can see where the living spaces are. And then, of course, you come over here, you start getting into Indian Bayou. This is their golf course here, beautiful golf course. This is sort of an older area of town. So think 1970s and 80s homes primarily, although some new ones are being built. And then, of course, they've got their own golf course there. Yeah, Indian Trail here, very similar, a little bit older homes, but some of these are getting torn down and rehabbed, so there are some new construction and newer homes there. And then if we head just a little bit further, let me get my bearings here, and a little bit further east, we've got Kelly Plantation, big neighborhood. It kind of goes on each side here. You've got one water place, which are there are 3 really big condos. These things are amazing. I've got to go over here and do a video soon. First time I ever walked these, I was mind blown. They had so much stuff. Each one of these buildings holds its own really cool, unique things about it. So you can do just about everything you want in these 3 towers short of grocery shopping. And even then, they've got some options inside of Kelly Plantation, but they've got these virtual driving ranges, cigar rooms, movie rooms, gyms. They have their own garden where every person that owns a condo there gets their own little portion if they want it. A lot of really cool things, and I'm sure I'm skipping over a ton. You also, you kind of see the pools here, you see the grounds. Really cool, but this is inside of Kelly Plantation, as you can see here. It's a very, very nice neighborhood, gated community on all sides. We've got a gate here, we've got gates down here, there's multiple of them, but it is a little bit higher of a price point. We'll look at those price points here in just a minute. I just want to make sure that we're going through all of this. So if you want to be walkable, Kelly Plantation is the one. It's walkable inside of the neighborhood, but it is going to be a little bit of a trek to get outside unless you're going to the little shopping center down here or the Destin Commons, which you could walk to either one of these, but I mean, depending on where you're at, if you're on this side, it might be a little bit easier than other sides. You've got that. And then you've got Regatta Bay just above it. This is another kind of nicer gated community. Beautiful golf course. I've actually never been to this or Kelly Plantation's golf course. They're a little outside of my reach because I'm gonna lose about 20 balls every time I play anyway, and I don't want people rushing me at a nice golf course where they know how to play. So if you know how to play, these are great ones. And then at Emerald Bay Golf Club, again, another nice little gated community up here. Beautiful golf courses. Another one I haven't tried. So that's sort of your overview of Destin, right? So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of an insight into where you might want to live depending on what your lifestyle is. As you can see, even in one city right here in Destin, you've got sort of the main chunk here where it's, hey, I just want to enjoy downtown. I want to enjoy the nightlife. I want to be able to go walkable down to Harbor Walk. Then you've got over here where it's at Kelly Plantation. I'm going to live in a super nice neighborhood, higher HOA. They're keeping they're keeping care of the lawns. There's no broke down cars, anything. Just beautiful neighborhood. And then, of course, you've got the Destin Commons, so you've got some more shopping over here. You've got the beach park, so more beach access, and you've got Crystal Beach down here. I can't believe I almost skipped the Crystal Beach area. This is a very popular area because almost everywhere down here you are walkable to the beach, and a lot of these little sub-neighborhoods in here have their own little access to the beach, which is super cool. And then just north of that, you've got some shops. You've got, a little outdoor outlet area, so kind of a cool little area. Then you've got the Destin Commons, more shopping. So if you wanted to live near, that kind of lifestyle, you want to be able to go to the movies all the time. They've got a cool movie theater down here. They've got, just a ton. I mean, literally, as I zoom in, you can kind of see. If I keep zooming in, there's even more shops that are going to show up. So, Pandora and Build-A-Bear and Abercrombie and Fitch. Just some cool shopping stuff. You continue to head further east, you've got a little bit more suburban style feeling with some golf course neighborhood stuff like that. All right, now we are going to get into pricing on all of these areas that we're going to talk about. But first, we're going to go through each of the areas that I want to discuss and kind of go through some of the lifestyle, some of the things you can expect while you're living there, and then we're going to go into prices. So if you're curious about pricing, just stay till the end of the video. That's one of the things at the end that I definitely want to get into. We're actually going to pull up the multiple listing service as a whole. We're going to deep dive it and kind of talk about the different things that you can get based on different price points. Because you can definitely get into Destin at a fairly decent price point, just a matter of the type of lifestyle, the type of home you want to live in, and things like that. So let's head over a little bit further east, and we're going to check out the Miramar Beach and Sandestin areas, kind of talk about that briefly. All right, so first and foremost, one of the things that a lot of people like to do while they're out here is shopping. And so I got to start there with the Silver Sands outlets. These are so cool. It's probably my favorite. One of my I'm not a shopper. I'm just not really big into it. But if I'm going somewhere, this is generally where I'm going because they have everything, as you can see. And it keeps going. You've got, it goes all the way down here. If I go down here, it goes like this, and then it bumps out again. It goes again. So it's a lot of different shopping. You've got, Skechers and the Gap and Something Place and Fossil and Under Armour, GNC, just a ton of different spots that you can get to. You can walk this whole area, pop into the shops that you want, stop for a little ice cream. That's what this little shop is. Just enjoy your day, go shop and go get your stuff done. I don't know why it keeps blurring out random things, but this is the Silver Sands Outlet Mall. Now I want to show the Sandestin Golf and Beach Resort, because that's one of the big differences between living in Destin and living here in Miramar or Sandestin. Destin's going to be a little bit more, definitely a lot of short-term rentals, but same. It's kind of the same in both of that, right? But Destin's going to be a little bit more like families living there. You kind of saw like the family areas and the residential areas and all of that. Miramar and Sandestin's going to go a little bit more into the resort style. So if you're looking for a second home, this is great. If you're looking for rental income, this is a good spot to look in, but Destin's just fine for that as well. But this is going to be more resort style living. So if you want to feel like you're in a vacation every time you're here and just get thrown right into vacation lifestyle, the resorts are generally going to give more of that feeling. They're going to be a little bit more golf cart friendly. They're going to be walkable inside of their own neighborhoods, but it's going to feel like one encompassed neighborhood that you don't need to leave for. That's sort of the main intent. So it's going to be the different lifestyles between Destin and Miramar Beach. All right, so as we're taking a look at this, you can see a cool little picture here. Let me flip this and kind of show you guys this. As you can see with Sandestin Golf and Beach Resorts, you've got a wide array of different types of property. We've got single families, we've got some condos and townhomes here, and it's just kind of mixed all throughout here. They've got a golf course, all of this, but it feels like it's all one group of things where you don't really need to leave the neighborhood as much. And so that's kind of, like I said, the big advantage with some of these. And you can kind of see it down here at Topsail as well. This is a racket club and fitness center apparently that's taking up half the screen. But they've got their stuff, really cool little fountains and stuff out here. It's just very aesthetically pleasing. But again, it's more all-encompassing, everybody living in here, and you don't feel like you need to leave all that much. These are particularly good for people that have a very specific lifestyle that they're looking to do. So, kind of going back up here to the Sandestin Golf and Beach Resort, like if you want to come down here and just play 36 holes every day that you're here, or play 18 holes, 9 holes, whatever it is, these are really good places to go. You've got great courses. They're very beautiful. The whole neighborhood feels like a resort. You can stop by, go grab a drink over here. There's another bar over here. There's a restaurant over here. All of this is all encompassing. It's very beneficial for people that want that lifestyle. They don't want to necessarily go out on the town, or maybe they want that option, but they want to be able to come back to their resort. I totally get it. And then lastly, I want to zoom in on the Grand Boulevard of Sandestin. Again, very similar. You've got a lot of stuff that's around here as well. This whole Village of Baytown Wharf, this is where a lot of really cool events are. In fact, some of my favorite events in the entire area happen right here at the Village of Baytown Wharf. And as you can see here, I wonder if I can click this bad boy and show some photos. Yeah, oh, beautiful. So this is the Village of Baytown Wharf. This is where they're doing tacos and tequila and beer fest, and just there's always something going on. But you can actually just go there too, even as somebody that doesn't live there. You can just come by and visit. They've got some good drinks up in here. Hypothetically, if you're into that, they got giant chairs you can sit and stand on, which is kind of random. Little ice cream shops, arcades, zip lines. This little cool golf game where you can hit this like PVC pipe. It's not actually a golf ball. They're like chunks of PVC pipe. It's kind of interesting. And then, of course, it's aesthetically beautiful all around here. Got these cool umbrellas that were up last time we were out there. I think I've shown you guys videos of this many times before. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, you're curious, you guys can hit the subscribe button on our account here. We're showing you guys everything around the Emerald Coast. We're showing you guys everything. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already, so you'll continue to see the stuff. If not, I'm not going to be upset. You know, you can always come back and watch us anytime you want. So lots of cool stuff to do for the kids. They do concerts here as well. This picture is generally where a lot of the tents would be if they're doing beer fest or tacos and tequila or something like that. You'll have some up here and over here. These big lanes of them. But this is where they are doing concerts. They got merry-go-rounds. They've got a cool marina here. And I think I'm kind of beating this dead horse here, so we don't really need to go over all of this, but that is the Village of Baytown North. That's this area that we're talking about here in Grant Boulevard. So we've got all of this great stuff packed into one area, and this entire section here has just a mix of every type of property you can think of. So if you're looking for just a little golf villa, so you can come down here and just play golf with your buddies, they've got them. As you can see right here, you want a full house, you want to be able to bring the family, you want to bring extended family, bring your kids and their kids and all of that. There are big houses out here also. So it just really kind of depends on what you're looking for. And that's why whenever you guys call in, the very first thing that we're trying to do with you guys is get you in for a buyer consultation. Because what we need to figure out and what we're trying to help figure out with you is exactly where to live. Because as you can see, we're in like a 10, 15 mile radius right now that we've looked at for this whole video already. And there's that much stuff going on. And I'm just hitting on the big stuff. I'm not hitting on the smaller neighborhoods. I'm not hitting on some of the cool little shops and getaways and little things that you could be doing. That's how much is packed into this area. So when you call in, if you guys are looking to purchase anytime in the next 1 to 2 years, we suggest you guys call in if you want to work with us, and so we can start working with you now. So we can start showing you guys the prices, showing you guys the areas. But the big thing that we're trying to do is get you in for a consultation so that we can deep dive and figure out exactly where you want to live and what the lifestyle is that you're looking for, so that we can make sure we match it. One of my most feared things as a real estate professional is that you call us and you want to move down here because you visited, you loved it, and then we get you in the wrong spot. And a year or two later, you're calling us and you're going, I got to sell this thing, got to go buy something else. Maybe I'm taking a hit on it, maybe I'm not. I don't want that. I want you guys to be in the right spot, and I want you to feel like it's the dream that you're living. People that are moving down here to the Destin area, they're doing it a lot of times that I've seen is because they see the dream, they see paradise, they see these beautiful beaches, and they want to live near that. And I don't want to mess that up for you guys. So that's why we're doing that, just to give you a little sneak peek into our process here. So again, quickly recap lifestyle differences in resort style that I've been talking about here in Miramar and Sandestin. We're looking at, resort style and where you've just got a lot of different things to do. Gated communities are super common. And then of course it's very golf cart culture. In fact, when you go, I should have hit on that a little bit more. When you go inside a bunch of these neighborhoods, they have golf cart parking. In fact, if I go to Village of Baytown North, I can show you, this is the only one that I know offhand, but there's tons of these all over. It's just the quick one to get into. Oops, I think I might have gone too far here. Oh yeah, here are the tennis courts. So you can't really see it, but that's what all of these little spots are. These are all golf cart areas. Now, when they're doing some of the bigger events, they're going to have tents and stuff here, and this is blocked off. But when they're not, you're coming in here, you're parking, and you're hanging out here and going to this cool little meatball tavern, meatball Italian bar, restaurant, whatever you're doing down there, you can pull up your golf cart, go have your fun, and drive right back home. So cool. Or low-speed vehicles. They are different, okay? Apparently golf carts and low-speed vehicles are different. Golf carts don't go above 20. Low-speed vehicles go 20 to 25 miles an hour. Just had one of you guys actually reach out recently asking about that. So that's why I'm putting that in here, because it is slightly different somehow. It's really the same thing. They're just naming it different, guys. All right, one of the cool things about both of these areas are very good on rentals. So if you are looking for Airbnb, VRBO, or something that you want to purchase, but you want to limit your exposure a little bit, you can rent it out while you're not living in it or while you're not vacationing in it. Just keep in mind that if you come down every summer and you take 2 weeks out of your summer in your spot, you're going to take a big chunk out of that, because that's when most of the short-term rentals make their money. But this is what a lot of people do. They come down here, they're saying, hey, every time I come down here, I'm spending $8,000 on a spot for me and the family for a week. Wouldn't it just make sense? I'm doing it twice a year. Wouldn't it make sense for me to buy my own? That's generally what it does. Now, if you're looking for a cash cow, with interest rates the way that they are as of the time of shooting this, I know they're going down. It's like a 96% chance that it's going to go down next month, 92% chance after that. It's looking like it's going to keep going down over the next couple of months. So it is going to get a little bit easier. But if you're looking for a pure cash cow, it's just harder to do right now. The Airbnb market over the last couple of years took a little bit of a hit after COVID, and then interest rates are a little bit higher. So if you get a mortgage and you're not self-managing, it is going to be a little bit harder to find something that cash flows, but you can get something that eliminates a lot of your overhead or eliminates a lot of the costs that you're generally paying if you just let a property sit there. So you've got that opportunity in either city. So just know that going into it. Now, the price points of everything, we're going to get into that. I want to show you guys price points right at the end and just kind of go area by area to give you guys a good idea of like, hey, what's the entry level, what's mid-level, and what's like the luxury price point in each of these cities we're going to talk about. But for right now, I want to go ahead and go up a little bit further north into Niceville and Valparaiso. So this is going to be where we're talking about our sort of, bay cities. It's kind of a weird statement, but the Choctawhatchee Bay right here, this is a bayfront city. As you can see, Niceville and Valpy, they're all Niceville. Just call it both Niceville, but Valpy is technically this little subsection of Niceville. So as we're coming in, or as we're leaving Destin, we're coming up to 93, which is a mid-bay bridge, another $3.50 to get in. The first thing that you're going to see is Blue Water Bay is going to be on the left side. That's this entire area here. Blue Water Bay is the most common neighborhood, or probably the most prevalent neighborhood. More homes are sold and bought in this area than I think any other one. It might be kind of close in the Rocky Bayou area. They might be kind of neck and neck. But as you can see, very, very large footprint here. Tons of stuff to do. We've done a lot of videos on Blue Water Bay because it is so popular. They've got tennis centers and aquatic centers. They've got many pools. They've got their own marina with a nice restaurant attached to it. It's actually really good. They do live bands and stuff there. But this is one of those all-encompass like suburbia feel neighborhoods, okay? As soon as you come in, there are gated sections of Blue Water Bay, but the whole thing is not gated. So as you can see here, let's say you go off of 20, which is the main road coming in and out, and you come in here to White Pines and you start, sifting through all of this, you can go through there. And then you'll see, picked a kind of a bad area here. I mean, not bad as in like it's a bad area, but I was trying to show the sidewalks because it's very sidewalk friendly around here. Of course, every area I'm zooming into doesn't have any sidewalks, but a lot of them do. It's very walkable, very bikeable. There's always, every time I go in there, there's always kids riding their bikes and people outdoors doing stuff. So a lot of things to do here in Blue Water Bay, and you're just a matter of minutes away from Destin. So let me go ahead and show you that right here. I'm just going to do it from Blue Water Bay Tennis Court. So if you're in the very heart of Blue Water Bay, you're looking at a mere 21 minutes to get to the heart of Destin. And of course, if we move that marker from right here over to, like, let's say you're just trying to get to the Commons or something like that, it's just 16 minutes away. So very, very quick to get to, and you kind of weave back in through the neighborhood. So that's one of the neighborhoods here in Niceville. Niceville is going to be generally a little bit more family-oriented. It's going to be a little bit different than Destin. Destin's perfectly fine for families, especially if you visited, you know that. So if schools are important to you, Niceville, it's definitely one of the top picks, although most of the schools in our area, I just did a video on this last week, by the way, guys, if you guys want to visit it, I think we can put them up here in a little gray bar. You can click on that and have that popped open, ready to go. So a lot of the folks that are moving to Niceville, they're doing it because of the schools, the family-friendly atmosphere. It's very heavy with military folks that live there, particularly the officer corps, because it is a little bit more expensive here, as you're going to see at the end of the video when we start talking prices. In fact, Destin and Niceville, surprisingly, their average price point's only about $50,000 different. Now, the types of homes you're getting are different. The amount of land you're getting is different. There's definitely a lot of differences that we'll kind of show you, but definitely something to take into consideration. And then schools are super important for folks that are here. As I did that video last week, I was kind of going over some of the schools from niche.com and goodschools.org or great schools. I think it's greatschools.org. So I'm not allowed to give my opinion on it. As a licensed professional, it could be considered steering. So I've got to be careful about that, which, by the way, is crazy. When you guys call us, there's certain things we can't talk about. Schools, crime, demographics, we can't talk about any of that stuff. So if you call us asking about questions on that, we're going to give you tools. We're not going to be able to speak directly on it. And I think it's personally silly. I hold a license from the state that says I'm not supposed to be doing that stuff. And I think it's silly myself because I live here. I should be able to tell you guys that stuff. But it is what it is. That's why when you're watching our videos, we use niche.com or greatschools.org. So anyway, you want great schools. Niceville tends to be a good spot for that, especially the high school here. All right, and to give you guys a quick visual, this is the Niceville. Let me switch this layer here. You can see Niceville High right here. For those of you that have kids that are maybe in sports or extracurriculars, Niceville High, that is like their thing. They are known for extracurriculars. I'm all the time hearing our clients talk about them enrolling in cheerleading or debate or, I don't know, debate's one of them, but there's a bunch of different extracurriculars here, and apparently their football team is outstanding. I've never made it out there to a game personally. And this is where it's at, as you can see right here, smack in the middle of everything. There's multiple other schools around there. Check out niche.com or greatschools.org if you really want to get the grades and everything from it. But here's the thing. Oops, that traffic thing is still on. Here's the thing is most of our cities, as I mentioned in the last video, the schools are pretty solid anyway. So the folks that are moving here are generally wanting a little bit more of a quiet lifestyle. They're wanting a little bit more laid back, and a lot of them want access to Eglin Air Force Base. So I was kind of talking about that before of, hey, a lot of the folks here are military. They're working on the base. This is how quick it is to get there. You're looking at from the heart of Blue Water Bay, which is on the other side of Niceville. It's taking, about 14 minutes. And if you were to move in Niceville, let's say right here in the smack of what we'd call Niceville Prime, or kind of the center of Niceville, you're looking at about 10 minutes, and that's weaved back here through all of these different neighborhoods and churches and schools and all of this other stuff to get up there. So that's how quick it is to get to Eglin. If you are commuting to, let's say, Crestview, maybe you're working up there, it's the 7th group or something like that, you wouldn't have to go this far. It would be like right here, so you're looking at about 20 minutes there. So we've gone over the commute times. What are some of the trade-offs that you're going to get? Number one, the very obvious one is that it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the beach when you're living in Niceville. So it's one big trade-off that you're making is you are going to have to travel that 20 minutes to get to the beach. Is that a big deal? Probably not, unless you want to walk to the beach all the time. Then this would be a very long walk if that was the case. So that's one of the biggest trade-offs that you're going to do. And with that trade-off, you're going to get generally better rated schools according to those two websites. You're going to get more family feel. You're going to get, it's going to feel more like living in a suburban area versus living in a tourist town. There is a big difference because Destin, Miramar Beach, there's going to have the traffic, it's going to have the noise, it's going to have the nightlife. It's just going to be a whole different vibe. This, Niceville, is going to slow it down really quickly. And then, of course, you've got some pretty cool little parks and stuff. This is one of my favorites, Turkey Creek. This little parking area here, and then you walk through here and you see this bridge, and then you're just walking through this whole area here. It's so cool. I wonder if it's got some pictures of it I could show you guys super quickly. Yeah, this is what the whole trail looks like, just like this. It's super beautiful. It'll have these little portions that we're probably just missing right here in this photo, where it's like this, where it's got kind of a little dock, area that you can jump into the water at. You can actually hang out by here. A lot of people take tubes and boogie boards and just float down the whole creek area. It's not very long. It's I want to say maybe a mile and a half to get from one side to the other. So if you are going to take tubes and stuff, you can actually take it, float all the way down, grab them, walk all the way back up again, and come all the way down is generally what we're seeing. This is their little picnic area. This is a prime example of one of the areas I was talking about where you can jump into the water, splash around, follow the creek all the way. This is just Turkey Creek. Oh, I've never seen this statue up in a Turkey Creek like 3 dozen times. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that's Niceville. Now, before we move on to Crestview, I am curious, as I'm doing these map videos for you guys, which city would you like me to deep dive next? Because after I do this is sort of showing the 3 different types. You've got the beachfront, you've got the bay, and then you've got really inland, which is what we're about to go into right now over at Crestview. As we start doing this, I'd really like to deep dive into each one of these cities and really showcase it off and drop the pin and drop the little guy and walk you through some of the streets, walk you through some of the neighborhoods, because I think I can get a lot more of that in one video than on some of the videos where we're out and about, we're actually showing you the neighborhoods as we're walking around. I think both are going to be helpful, but you guys let me know if this is helpful at all, and let me know which area or which city you'd like me to do next. If you've got one that you've got your eye on, let me know. If I see a bunch of comments on that, I'm going to do that one next, and you guys are helping me out with ideas, and I appreciate that. So let's jump into Crestview. All right, so as I've zoomed out here, you're already seeing the pathway. This is it right here. As you can see, this whole drive up here, as soon as you go a little bit north in Niceville, everything else goes away. There's nothing else out here. It looks like farmland, right? You don't see a single house. You don't see anything like that. And that is because, unfortunately, that's exactly kind of what it's not actually farmland, but it's all owned by Eglin Air Force Base or by the military, by the government, however you want to look at it. This entire area, in fact, if I zoom out even more, you can kind of see it. It's this whole thing here, right? So if I switch this layer, you can see nothing going on. All of this green right here, all owned by them, like huge, huge chunks. And that's because Eglin Air Force Base is a bomb testing center. So they need a lot of land to test out different explosives and things like that. So keep in mind, a couple of times a year, you'll hear a bomb go off or something like that. It's just enough that you go, I'm going to go on Facebook and see what that is. It's not like it's shaking everything around you, although occasionally I've lived here since 2005, so 2 decades now almost. And there were a couple of times I felt the wall shake. I was like, ooh, that's a good one. But I live very close to it. Just to put it in perspective, this whole green area is part of it too. And I'm, as you can see right there, I'm not gonna zoom in too much. I don't want to show the whole world my address, but I'm right on the verge of it. So if you're out here in Niceville, it might not be as much because most of the ranges that they shoot at are all over here. I used to work for the Air Force, and so some of their airdrops and shooting locations and stuff I'd have to be out there for. All right, so as we're going into Crestview, this is 85. It's the main one going in and out. There is no way around it. So when you hit traffic in Destin, you can, like if all of this is traffic, you can pop up here, go around here, go by the airport, and skip by most of it. The problem with Crestview is you can't do that. And that's one of the chief complaints about people that live in Crestview is the traffic. So morning traffic, afternoon traffic. When the bases are letting in and out, that's when the most amount of traffic's happening. Because here's what's happening. We've got people that are living in Fort Walton. We've got people, and I'm sure there's some in other cities too, but the main Fort Walton, Niceville, Destin, all of these people are coming all the way in, and they're either going right here to Duke Field or they're coming in and out of Crestview, whatever. But so all of this is just merging. Or the people that are living in Crestview are coming down to Eglin as well. So you're either coming down to Duke Field, 7th Special Forces, 77 Special Forces. I think I keep screwing that up every time I talk. And then you've also got it going all the way down into Eglin and vice versa. So from about 8 o'clock in the morning to about 9:30 in the morning, traffic's a little bit rough. As you can see here, 25 minutes if I remove this to Eglin. And let's say you were working at Eglin, but you want the affordability of Crestview, which wait until you see the affordability at the end. It's freaking crazy compared to the other areas we're looking at. You're looking at 20 minutes. Pretty easy, right? But then it takes 45. Why is it taking that long? Well, it's because of all of that traffic, so there's so much. So like I said, 8 to about 9 in the morning, give or take. Maybe a little bit earlier than that it starts. And then at the end of the day, somewhere around 4 to 5, 5:30, again, it'll take you about 45 minutes. It gets a little bit worse. And luckily, it's not generally sitting in traffic bumper to bumper, although as you get closer to Crestview, it starts getting like that. But it starts fading out pretty quickly around here because you see all the little neighborhoods here in South Crestview. And this is why so many people like South Crestview, because they don't have that extra traffic from everybody else going up into North Crestview. At the end of the day, Crestview is our kind of super affordable inland option. In fact, out of all of the areas we cover, this is one of the best bangs for your buck that you're going to get outside of going to an even smaller neighborhood like Milligan or Defuniak or Milton or Pace. Every place that I just mentioned, best bang for your buck you're going to get. There's going to be a little bit less stuff to do. You go to Holt, for instance, you see a Dollar General, but you're not seeing a whole lot else. Cool Park, but this is it. And what you're seeing is what you're getting. It's a handful of homes. But if you live in Crestview, you're still going to get really good pricing, but you're also going to get a golf club over here, some mini parks, if I zoom in, there's tons and tons of stuff all along 85 here. So you're getting a full-blown city. You're getting everything you need. You're not going to have to go anywhere. Whereas in Holt, you're probably going to have to drive into Crestview to get stuff. So just keep all of that stuff in mind as we're looking at prices in these areas. Now, the cool thing with Crestview is if you're looking for new construction, out of all of the areas we've talked about today, it probably has the most amount of it. Now, the Miramar-Sandestin area definitely has some new construction for sure, but there are whole neighborhoods in here that are completely being built out. Actually, I zoomed right in on one. As you can see, they're starting to build out this neighborhood right off of Channon Drive. You've got a whole neighborhood over here that was new construction not too long ago. They're all sold out now. DSLD, like this is Patriots Ridge right here. This is actually built out more than the picture shows right here. But so lots and lots and lots of options for new construction, which right now is one of the better deals because they own the title company, the mortgage company, and they're the builder. So what they can do is they can pull money from all of that to lower your interest rates. So they are offering some incredible interest rates. The last one we did was 4.99 before. I can't promise it's going to be happening right now because it changes literally by the week, which is one of the reasons why I always tell you guys, reach out to us early so that we can get you guys on all this stuff. Because if we do our consultation to figure out, hey, new construction in Crestview is the best for you, what we do to help you find the home is going to be completely different, because those homes are not necessarily on the MLS. You're not seeing them on Zillow. You're not seeing them all on realtor.com, Redfin, whichever site you're using. So you're not seeing everything online that you would like to see. Again, why it's so important to get with us a little bit earlier. A lot of people call us right when they're like ready, and thank you so much for calling us. But every once in a while that gets in the way a little bit. We're trying to scramble and we're trying to, cram as much of our knowledge into your head as we can and help you along the way for that. So some of the big advantages with Crestview, trade-offs and things like that are, first, very heavy military. You're going to see that the commute times are a little bit longer, but you're getting bigger homes, you're getting more land with those homes. You're getting better upgrades for those homes for a much better price. Something that you're getting at $350,000 here in Destin is going to be $700, $650 most likely. So that's the big difference. And if interest rates are scaring the crud out of you, new construction is the way to go. Crestview and Freeport, which is more of kind of a bay option, is what I call like in the middle of inland and a beachfront. Are going to be great too. We didn't talk about Freeport, and I don't plan on talking about this one too much because I need to do a standalone video on this, but there's a ridiculous amount of new construction here as well, and you're even closer to some of the water there too. That's a whole other story. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for great pricing all around, not just with the house, but with insurance and taxes, Crestview is an outstanding spot to be in. Now, go through the comment section of this video and you'll see a lot of people, some of the locals and stuff will see it. We love your guys' comments, by the way. It's great. I love that our locals are so vocal about what it's really like, but you're going to see some pretty bad horror stories in the comment section. So if you're local watching this, go ahead and put down in the comment section what you hate about it, the traffic. I know I've already hit on it, but go ahead and talk about it some more, or whatever it is that you dislike about it, so we can give our viewers an honest chance to kind of look at everything. Just take it with a grain of salt, because some people put some wild stuff down there sometimes. But then most of them are kind of valid, and it's from people that are living there. So that's a great, sample size to pull from if you're considering a property in one of these areas. All right, now that we went over all of these different areas, let's look at some of the price points. So I'm going to pull up the multiple listing service. This is the direct broker level access that I've got here. And in fact, when you guys call in, as soon as you guys do a buyer consultation with us, we'll give you access to this. You'll have a portal. You'll be able to search this, and this is going to show you all those properties you cannot find on Zillow. You can't find on Realtor, Trulia, Homes.com, Redfin, whatever site you're looking at, because they have to go here first. Everything syndicates from here. And so this is one of the portals that we have. Now, you're not going to have all the new construction that we have access to, but we're going to hook you up with all of that. That's part of the process. But let's go and look at some of these prices. We're looking at active properties only. And I want to show a couple of things first. I'm going to go into the market summary. This is every time I do a video and you guys hear me talk about an average price point for the month, or I always use the median, it's coming straight from the market summary here. So that's why it changes every month. Whenever you guys hear me say it, you're like, didn't you say the average the median last month was 560, now it's 542? That's because it's ever changing in here. So I'm going to go through each one of these main areas. I'm not going to go through Miramar. Well, yeah, I'll go through Miramar and Destin as well. This is going to be all of Destin. These are all the different neighborhoods, by the way, in Destin. There's a ton. This is the entire area of Destin that we're going to look at. And this is for September. I'm shooting this October 4th. So I only have the last month's here. When I scroll down here, the median sales price in this area for 2025 is $580 for Destin. I think that's actually the exact number I used in last week's video. Now we go over, and we'll go into some individual examples in a minute. I just want to show the average. So if you're already running Destin off, you're like, man, it's where I really want to be, but 580, are you out of your mind? Don't worry. Remember, that's just median. There's definitely some cheaper. There's definitely a lot more expensive as well. So we're going to go to the Miramar Beach area. Now, this area is also going to include Destin. And so it's going to be a little mix of both, but there are differences in the two if you really look at it through a microscope. And it's $690. It's actually more expensive to be in the resort areas. Well, that makes sense. They're master plan communities. They've got all this stuff built in. And a lot of folks, if you haven't stayed in one before, they don't know what the difference is. They just go to Destin and they're like, well, that's where I want to go, but you might actually want that luxury lifestyle. You're just going to have to pay a little extra for it. And we go into Niceville. So you remember I said it was about $50K difference when I looked at it last week. So that would be about $530. And let's see what it is. Oh, $500. So it has changed a little bit. A couple of things on the lower end must have sold. But so now we're looking at about $60,000 difference between Niceville and Destin. You would think, holy cow, like, why is Niceville so dang expensive? Remember, it's the type of people that are wanting to live there and the type of lifestyle they want that drives the price up. Because most people come down here to vacation and they want that, but they want to be close to it, but they still want to be able to provide their kids great schooling. They still want to be able to have that suburban lifestyle or whatever it is. So that's why. And it's landlocked, right? So as you can see here, like there's not much else we can go here. It's kind of all pushed in because all of this is owned by the government. So that drives prices up a little bit. Forget about this guy. All right, so back to it. It's 500 there, but then check this out when we go to Crestview. And we'll show examples of all of these here in just a moment. And this is a full Crestview area, so this does actually include a little bit of the surrounding portions and all the way up here into Auburn, which is just essentially North Crestview. And so with this one, look at that, $309,000. Almost $200,000 less expensive or cheaper, if that's the word you want to use. Although I don't like using it because it's not cheap builds out here. But $200,000 less expensive than Niceville, and $250,000 cheaper than Destin. So great location or great pricing if you're okay with the location and being a little bit further away. So now let's look at, not hot sheets, quick search. Let's look at each one of these areas and work our way down. I'm going to start in Crestview first, just to kind of go with the lower end of the spectrum here. Look at all, this is the entire Crestview area when we're looking at it on the map, okay? So get your bearings here. This is that 85 coming from Niceville all the way up. Now you've got, I like to look in Crestview in a couple of chunks, okay? We've got south of 10 right here, Highway 10. These are going to be a little bit higher price point for a run-of-the-mill home, right? Because you're south of Crestview, it's more desirable. It's quicker to get to Dukefield. It's quicker to get to Niceville, quicker to get to Destin. And so these are going to generally run a little bit more expensive. Then north of 10, but underneath Highway 90 here, you're going to get kind of the next batch. Again, the second most desirable area because you're skipping some of that. Because what happens is the traffic backs up here because all the people coming from 10, coming from Pensacola, coming from Milton, coming from Pace, they're coming through here and adding to the traffic. So if you can bypass that, then of course you're going to pay a little bit of a premium for that, although it's not very much, as I'll show you here in just a second. And then we've got the north side of it, which is north of 90. This is where you're going to get the best bang for your buck. It's more spread out. There's tons of land over here, so it's just going to keep getting built up. It's not going to slow down anytime soon because although a lot of this is green, it's not actually owned. Most of this is not actually owned by by the government. So those are kind of the three chunks. And we've got everything that's kind of north of Auburn here, which is really getting nuanced. You're really going to be out, there's nothing out here, for the most part. I mean, there's stuff, but as you can see, it's just not as much. I wonder if I could switch it off satellite right here. So as you can see, it kind of gets a little bit more, a little bit more spread out. The closer you get into town, it starts getting more and more dense. There's more and more things. There's more churches, more grocery shopping, more restaurants, more things to do. So that's the three chunks. So let's go ahead and look at this. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the detail page. I'm going to do the lowest price one. I'm going to go in ascending order to give us an idea on what all properties are. And this is single family homes, townhomes, condos. And of course, there's not a whole lot of condos up here. Let me move my face up. So we've got some properties starting 944 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath at $75,000. Now, I can promise you just by looking at this, if it's under 200K, it's going to need a lot of work, as we can see here. So you can kind of see that going all the way up here to around 150. So yes, you can get in here 150. As you can tell just by this photo, probably needs a little bit of work. Although the inside doesn't look too terrible. It looks like, it's kind of rough. All right. So if that's something that you're looking to do, or maybe you want to fix and flip something, or you just want to fix something up as you go, you definitely can. And then we go right here, and this is what's so cool about Crestview. Check this out. $179,000. I bet when I hit the detail page, it's going to say it's brand new construction. I can tell by the look of it. Brand new. Look at that. This is a brand new home. Now, it's only 966 square feet, and it's only 2-bed, 1-bath, which is very rare. We don't have a whole lot of 2 bedrooms in our area. But, I mean, heck, can you beat new construction for $179,000? You'd have to be okay with 2 bedrooms, a little bit smaller, but, I mean, it's pretty enough. It's new. It probably has that good new smell. And then that's where the new construction is starting roughly. And I sort of picked that out of a hat here. And then we could scroll down and it keeps going. You get in the 250s, and this is kind of what they start looking like. Get a 2-car garage, all brick exterior. Could use a little bit of updating, maybe not, depending on what you're looking for mica countertops, oak cabinetry. Pretty cool little house, and nothing cosmic for $250,000. Now you're not going to be able to find this in some of the other areas as we go. And then, of course, it starts going. I'm actually going to do this the opposite now and go descending so we can get the most expensive price. $2.4 million in Crestview. That's the highest one. And I remember when this one came on the market. It's actually gorgeous. It almost feels like a whole, like a ranch, or what is the word I'm looking for? Like a farm, a farm and ranch style thing. So kind of cool. Definitely very beautiful. And then it looks like this is big plots of land. Oh, nope, this one just happens to have 30 acres with the property here. And so that's what it looks like. Most of these are, in fact, 2 of these are the exact same price. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure why they put that in there twice. Of course, these are the exceptions. You can see a handful. What is this? Maybe, 10 properties above $1 million. Everything else is going to be lower than that. And even these, like it drops down to 500 really quick. From 500 to $1 million, there's not much. Another 10, 20 properties. And so this is the kind of stuff you can expect. Let me go to a 500K or just to give you guys kind of a good, like, you got a healthy budget, you want a good home, what have you. I'm just going to pick this one at random. This one's built in 2023. I like the color of this one on the outside. That's kind of cool. All right, 2-car garage. Looks like it's on a pretty good footprint. Very pretty inside. Awesome. Where's this one located at? Let me go back to the map. Oh, so this one's, so again, far north, right? So you might be playing that game, 500K, but you're going to be this far north. There's not a whole lot up here. Now, to get from this area here, actually, let's look at it. 3116 Pino Way. Where's my... Oops. So to get from this side to like the heart of Crestview, if you wanted to get to maybe Twin Hills, oh man, I thought this was going to be, let me just go straight to Twin Hills Park. So if you want to get through, oh wow, I did not do that at all. There we go. I had to finagle it a little bit, but you're looking at 13 minutes. So it's not a super long drive, but just know there's not as much going on down here. Once you get north of the airport, it starts thinning out pretty quickly. And especially if you're, having to go down one of these roads to go east or west. But that's, kind of a random snapshot of 500K. Now, let's go and move on down into Niceville. It's so nice in Niceville because it's got a cool name. All right, Niceville, 210 homes for sale instead of 576, so a lot less, okay? So less inventory means as demand goes up, the prices will increase a little bit quicker. As we go, we've got Blue Water Bay, Rocky Bayou, got a really cool neighborhood I would love to show you guys all the time down here, but they do not like it when I do. Apparently, I did a whole video on this whole neighborhood. They got their lawyers on me, and they were like, don't you ever talk about Deer Moss Creek and all this other stuff. And I'd love to showcase it off. I showcase great neighborhoods to you guys all the time, and I never get to showcase off that one. But it's master plan. It's super, super cool right here. And it's starting to get built out. So I can show you all of this here because I'm not on the ground showing stuff. But it's getting built out and it's going to keep going. So they've got this whole infrastructure to kind of build out over here. It's going to be this really cool neighborhood. The prices over here are a little bit more expensive. So let's go and look at the prices here. 210 properties. Go to the details. We're going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and go with the lowest price first. $142,000 is where we're starting. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath in College Park. So a little condo complex. This is where most of these first few are going to be, is in these types of little condos here. Lots of pictures on the outside. If you can get me inside, there we go. So this is $142,000. It's upgraded a little bit, not to the teeth, but pretty good. Nice little size. This is going to come with an HOA, $228 a month. So keep that in mind. So that's a low end, 142. We've got the median. What did it say? 580. So let's find a 580 real quick and show you guys kind of what the average home is going to look like out here. And then I want to point out a couple of things. So 575, this one's new construction. Let's go to Hickory. Now this one's new construction. I'll just show you. Well, I kind of want to go non-new construction. Here we go, 1999. New construction is going to have generally a smaller footprint and stuff, and I want to make sure I'm showing you guys this stuff. So we got a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,233 square feet. Virtually staged, so, ignore all of that. It's on a cool little corner lot. Very nice house, like super pretty. I don't like the virtual staging on it, but that's just a me thing. No fault to the realtor or anything like that on it. Oh, gas stove. So this is another cool thing is Niceville's got a lot of gas in it, whereas a lot of the other areas doesn't. Crestview does, but it's in sections where you're going to find it. So if gas is super important to you, just keep that in mind. It's a little bit harder to find in some of our cities. So pretty cool. This is your kind of average footprint. We're on a full 1/4 acre, right? Which for those of you that are maybe in a rural area or something like that now, you're like, oh shoot, dude, like that's not that much at all. But, for Niceville, for our area, a 1/4 acre is pretty decent size. Not great, but it's decent size. You can definitely find 1/2 acre. You can find a full acre, but it's going to be a lot less options. In fact, watch, I'll show you if I do add acreage here. And let's say I want a full 1 acre, we're going to cut that down to 3 properties. Whereas I do this in Crestview, and it's going to be, it'll probably cut out 2/3 of the property. So it'll still be a couple hundred. Because Niceville's landlocked, it doesn't have space to bow out. That's all you're going to get. Destin's going to be very similar, as well as Miramar. So you've got these, and they're starting at $895. So again, why the consultation is so important. One of the things we go over with you, if you're like, I have to have an acre no matter what, and I have to be in Niceville, and I have to be under 700, we're going to be like, it's probably not going to have. Maybe something comes up, but it's unlikely. So we might have to tweak something a little bit, or maybe try to find a new city, or go a little bit less on our acreage or what have you. So, all right. So let's go ahead and look at, let me take that back off, and let's go ahead and go back to all of the properties. Let's look on the high end here for those of you that are absolutely balling. You want to spend some big money. Niceville is going to go up to $2.5 million as of right now. And then that's kind of a $1 million jump between the first and second one. This one's brand new construction. They will be building. And so let's just, for funsies, let's look at this. We might as well. All right. Okay, so water, which I would expect, man, look at that. That last picture was good. You can see the clouds and the water and everything, nice and calm. So one of the cool things of being on the bay is see how the water is a little bit more calm. It's definitely a big benefit of it. Now we've got to get through about 30 pictures of the beach before we get to the house. I love these columns. I always wanted a house with these big columns going 2 stories or higher. So kind of cool little house. All right, super pretty. Got another one, 1.4 million. So if you want to be waterfront, actually, for boaters and stuff, Niceville is always a really good option because you're in. Oops, I meant to go to the map. Because you're right here on the bay. There's a lot of options. I mean, look at all of these right here on the water, which is super cool. So not a ton, but then you've got all of this, all of these. So definitely kind of a cheaper way or less expensive way to get right there on the water. So that is Niceville. Now let's go into Destin. Let's take a look at these. Destin's the one that most people know. We've got 760. The thing with this is a lot of them are going to be condos, right? So if we were to, just to show it in perspective, this is all the stuff for sale. So remember I said earlier, that's about where it cuts off there to go into Miramar. Well, that's what it looks like. You got the Destin Commons here. We've got the Emerald Grand right here, Crab Island right here. And just for fun, let's go ahead and take out just detached single family and go from 760 to 257. So a big chunk is going to be vacation rentals, townhomes, condos, stuff like that. So let's do the same thing we did before. We're going to go to detail. Let's go to the most expensive is 15 million, but we're going to get back to that in a second because I want to keep the same flow. So 190. All right. So remember we said average was 580, but you can start getting in at 190. And this is an Old Bay condo. You can tell. So nice little, I think these are two bed, 2 bath. Yeah, 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,051 square feet. That's what you're getting. Dancing Cloud here. Indian Lake. I like this complex because it tends to rent out pretty well. It's not super pretty, but for folks that are like, hey, I want a cash cow, Indian Lake is a good one to get into because they do rent out pretty good. All right, and then you can kind of continue all the way on here. You see a lot of these here at Gulf Terrace and Dancing Cloud. Gulf Terrace is another one here. Gulf Terrace condos, these tend to do fairly well also. So, for $235,000, one bed, one bath, 700 square feet. Let's go to the median price point of what we were talking about before, which I believe it was $580 on this one. Oh, wow, it's going to take a while to get down there. There's a lot of properties in Destin. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, guys. We'll just fast forward through all of this. All right, $580 is a condo. Let me find a house because I do know a lot of people that are looking for houses. Condos we can always talk about as well. So 4-bed, 2-bath. Where is this one located? I didn't look. Oh, Emerald Lakes. Cool little neighborhood. Here, let me show this right here. This is all the way at the edge. I was kind of showing it before with Indian Bayou over here, Indian Lakes. They're kind of like side by side with each other. And I believe, if I could see it here, will it show it? Yeah, you kind of see the drive-in with the little gate right here. So cool little gated community. One of my buddies live right here. So I know the neighborhood very well. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. You're going to see a lot of these in this neighborhood. The style of building that you're looking at right here. Let's go through it. Looks like the carpet needs a little bit of work, but pretty little house. This is what you can consider average on here. And this is a good resale here. Let me look at another one. Let me look at a condo for you guys. 1002, this should be Pelican. Yeah, Pelican Beach. So Pelican Beach, right? Look at that view. Whew, that's what people are coming here to the Emerald Coast for. Look at that. Cool little pool area. It's kind of cool. It's got a little walk-in beach area. Yeah, so nice views. Probably make some money. I want to talk about this since we were talking about this before. Let's see if they have any rental projections in here. No, they do not. Maybe we can find another one, give you guys an idea of what some of these condos do out here. A lot of these agents don't put rental projections in here. So at $580,000, this one is estimated to make $66,000 a year. Now, once we crunch all the numbers, it's not that much, especially if you're not self-managing. So if you're paying a manager, losing 20 to 25% of your revenue overnight. That's how much they cost to do the constant turnover and change. And this is actually really good too, because I was talking earlier about if you rent it out during the summer months, you're going to lose a good chunk of your money. See, June and July, that's half of their money almost. Half for the whole year. If you look at the top 3 months, all 3 of these, you're looking at $32,000. That is half, literally half right there in 3 months. So if you're taking some of that out, just know that that is going to be a part of your revenue that you're eating into. So you got the average days, you got a bunch of cool little information on here, but I just wanted to show that since it did pop up. So I actually think that's a really high projection for this. Typically, I generally take this and just move the zero over a couple of times. That's generally going to be what it is, right? You move that zero over, and you can expect about $58,000 for a decent rental managed by a good company. And then we can crunch those numbers for you. We've got a whole, cost to own sheet. So if you guys are ever curious on that, you want to see what the actual numbers are, we absolutely can do that for you so you can see if it's viable. So this is middle of the road of what we're purchasing, $580 million price point. Now we go to the high end. We got to see that $15 million. We're already here. We might as well look at it, right? Beautiful, great picture there, guys, for the realtors that are on this. Beautiful property. Holy cow, look at this. Oh, man, I bet that is just amazing. I bet there's some great views in there. Oh, very cool. So this is right up at the corner here. Oh, I thought it was going to be this corner right here, but no, it's all the way up here, just north of Kelly. So it's actually in Kelly Plantation. Yeah, Kelly Plantation. So we're talking about this, right? One of the most esteemed neighborhoods in Destin, especially for people that want to live in single family. Oh my gosh, look at this. So if you guys have $15 million laying around, you guys want to purchase this, I would love to go take a look at this with you. There's 205 photos, so I'm not going to go through all of these, but there's lion statues, guys. And then of course 10 million, you know, and it kind of goes down from there. You'll keep seeing this because there's a lot of great waterfront property. This one's right here. Oh, this is right here in Hall. We are back. Sorry, our battery died. Apparently I've been rambling for a bit, but I hope this is great information. If it is, please leave me a comment and hit that like button and let me know that these longer videos are good for you. I'm really hoping that by getting into the weeds here, it really kind of shows you guys all of these areas. So just because there's lots of windows at this one, I want to see what this one is right here. Even though I was right in the middle of the holiday aisle thing, this one just caught my eye. Look at these windows. Holy cow. Ooh, for a mere $5 million. All right. I don't remember where I was at. We were talking about Holiday Isle. I think that was one of those that was on here, right here on the water. So anyway, this is Destin. You can kind of see the higher end, 15 million, lower end, 100 and something is what it was, right? 100, oops, wrong way. 174, 190. All right, now let's take a peek at the Destin Miramar. Oops, no, I guess I could do it here too. Boop, boop, boop. You actually have to make the boop sound or it won't work. All right, 713 properties, more properties in these areas. Super interesting, right? So you can kind of see the area here right when it cuts off from Destin, goes all the way into here before it starts getting to the Santa Rosa Beach portion, and then 30A, which I have to do a whole standalone video on 30A because there's so much to talk about down there, it's crazy. All right, so I like to look in this as a couple of different areas. We've got a couple of different main resorts. You can see these large clumps of stuff. Those are resorts. And then, of course, we got the north side right here by Baytown Wharf. You can see a big clump of these and a lot of these. This big clump are all the condos and stuff like that, and all this single-family homes and townhomes and all the other cool stuff down there. So when we're looking at the prices here, remember this is our highest price point in the 600s, I believe, but it's starting at 130. Now this is a mobile home, so this is up in the top right area, I'm sure. Let me go back to the map. It's easier to see all of this. Oh no, it's not. It's actually down here. Oh, so it's right in between a couple of the neighborhoods here. So 130,000. I mean, I guess we can take a look at it. Not a lot of people looking at mobile homes. It's actually not a bad looking mobile home. Not really a mobile home person myself, but that's where it's starting at. Condos starting at 160. This is for a 0 bed, so this is a basically like a hotel room, a studio, if you will. Yeah, so 2 beds, built exactly like a hotel. Even looks like a hotel. Not super uncommon. Let's see if they got rental projections in here, because this is just more my personal curiosity at this point. Cost to own. Oh, no, they don't have rentals on there. Yeah. All right, so getting into the Miramar Beach area, you know, under 200 definitely possible, but keep in mind a lot of these are going to be those 0 bedroom studio condos. And then what did we say the average was? 600 and I want to say it was like 680 or something. I'll just go around 650 because I don't remember the exact number. It's just going to take a while. We'll fast forward through all of this. That's me fast forwarding. We're almost there. Oh my gosh. We're still getting there. All right, 650. So on this is main sale. Main sale is a really cool condo right here on the water. 2 beds, 2 baths. At this price, it is probably a partial view. Yep, partial view. So side view right here. 2 bed, 2 bath condo. This is about what you can expect for condos in this price point. I mean, it's yeah. This looks exactly like what I would expect there. Now let's find a single family home though. Although there's not as many of them. Let's take a look at, no, that's a townhome. Let's go. Turnberry, nope. All right, right here, Walton Way. This one, I believe Walton Way is up north. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's take a peek and see what a single family home looks like. We got a 2-car garage, looks like corner lot. Man, they are really close to the water, look at that. Super cool. Oh wow, I like the way this is decorated, very pretty. Oh man, somebody's got a decorator's touch, I'll tell you what. Hey, does that pool table look like half the size that like a regulation pool table is? Still kind of cool. All right, so this is what you can expect for the average price point out here. And then of course, we have to look at the top price because it's just kind of fun. 9 million. So it's actually the higher price point is in Destin currently, but that can change at any moment. Something sells, what have you. Oh, so this is a concept. Oh no, it is built. So it looks like, yeah, I really like the way this builder laid everything out. Is really cool, actually. Well, very pretty. I mean, for a mere 10 million bucks, right? Give us a call. We can definitely help you out. So that's the main range for each of the areas. As you can see, a massive difference in not only the homes that we're looking at, in the price points, in the lifestyle. There's so much to this, and that's why we have an entire YouTube channel around this, because there's just so much to show you. There's so much to go over. This area is very diverse, very wide. I coach agents all around the country, and sometimes I look at their stuff and see what they're doing, and it's just like there's not as many cities that are just as massively diverse, just 8 miles difference away. Like in 8 miles, you're in a whole different thing, you know, just from Destin, let's say, to Niceville, from Niceville to Crestview, completely different vibe, completely different lifestyle. All right, and the last thing. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I've got a gift for you. We have a monthly market report that goes out every single month. We've been doing it for about 6 months. I wanted to work out the kinks before I started providing it to you guys or allowing you guys to get access to it. What this is, it's about a 10-minute chat with me normally, sitting in front of my computer. I'm showing graphs, I'm showing charts. It's the unsexy stuff, if you will. But it's going over interest rates, and I make it kind of fun. It's not like I'm just like, look at this graph. I'm not making it boring. I'm going over it, and I'm deciphering all of this information for you to talk about what interest rates are doing, what prices are doing, what the future forecast holds, and just giving you guys a good idea based on the knowledge that we have. And we use a lot of the major economists and what they're looking at. So it's not just my conjecture or my opinion, although I do throw some of that in there. It's a monthly market report. It goes out on the 21st of every single month. If you guys would like access to that, reach out to us. All of my contact information will pop up on the screen right here, or you can hit this QR code. I haven't created an actual landing page for that, so I've got to do that super quickly, but it should be up by the time you're seeing this video. Hit that QR code or go down into the comment section down below and sign up for our newsletter there. We'll get you on our list every single month that goes out. And it's something that we generally do with our past clients and things like that, but we are opening it up to everybody because it's helpful for anybody. This isn't spam email. I'm not asking for any business in this. I'm not asking you guys to call me. I'm literally just going over the information. It's pure information only. Of course, if you find some of that information helpful, great, you can call us. If not, it's there to help you out. And it does go over national stuff as well. It's not just our area. So I kind of start with, hey, here's what's going on nationally, interest rates, prices, stuff, and then we start narrowing in on our little neck of the woods down here on the Emerald Coast. Whew. All right, this was a long video today. I hope this has helped. This is the first time we've tried one this long with a great map video like this, trying to show everything. If this was helpful, again, I know I've mentioned that a couple of times in this video already. If you've made it this far and you want to give me a little bit of help or direction, tell me in the comments, hey, this is a little bit too long, or tell me, hey, this was great. I love the information. Help me out so that I know what you guys would prefer. Because it's a long video. You know, I've been rambling and talking and talking and talking. So if it's not helpful to you guys, I don't want to keep doing this and give you guys stuff that you don't like. So please let me know in the comment section down below. As always, we shoot videos every single week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will see you guys next week. Follow us on all of our socials if you'd like to see any of the behind the scenes stuff, or to watch these videos a little bit early because we do post them on our Facebook and Instagram as well. See you guys next week, 4 p.m.